Hello everyone, this is Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, the DisruptMeister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video. I try to post a new video here every day, so keep checking them out. I'm sorry it's late at night back on the East Coast. I am still in Harare, Zimbabwe, and I have a story, a Bitcoin story about Harare, Zimbabwe. Before we get into that, I want to thank the person who sent me 0.00015 Satoshis, BTC, whatever you want to say. Someone figured out what's going on. The weird numbers keep on adding up to 6, basically. So someone keeps on telling me 666, or likes to use the number 6 over and over again. I hope that's a joke. Good for you. You're doing little codes to me, but there definitely is a code going on with some of these numbers. Actually, it was 0.087, 0.00087 that adds up to 15, which adds up to 6. I'm not going to get into it. Someone posted the explanation, what they thought the explanation was, and what I think probably is on the comment section. Zclassic is now listed on CoinMarketCap.com. If that means anything to you, it is. I mean, it's getting more legitimate. I believe Zclassic is legitimate. I'm not saying, I'm just bringing it up because, again, the Zcash thing has fascinated people. This is a fork of Zcash. It seems legitimate, and it doesn't have the founder's fees to it. So let's talk about what happened yesterday when I'm going to Mozambique. So Mozambique requires you, Americans, to have a visa to get in there, or they can throw you out immediately. I don't want that to happen. And their requirements are insane. You have to wire them money. You can't just give them cash. You have to wire them money. You have to bring them printouts. All these really old-fashioned things. So that's problem number one, is with Mozambique. And many other countries have requirements, government requirements that are like from the 60s, okay? That's ridiculous. But in order to wire them money and get a receipt to bring them to show that I wired them money, that was very important. A receipt they could stamp. I couldn't use my computer, obviously. That's not a real receipt that's stamped by a bank. They need a bank to stamp it. So I had to get involved with Zimbabwe banks, and so I got to experience what it's like in Zimbabwe to deal with banks and money and see it firsthand. Right now in Zimbabwe, they use the US dollar as their currency because they, as you know, they had hyperinflation a few years ago. So using the US dollar is much better than printing their own money, but people now, they're scared. They're about to create a version of their own money called bond notes, or bank notes, bond notes, whatever they're called. And so people are panicking and trying to get their cash out of the bank because they don't want, in the future, when they need cash, to use this new cash that might be coming. So they already have coins, bond coins, but that's different than, that's just very small denominations, under 50 cents and under. People don't want to deal with their dollars in this new bond notes. Anyway, the point is, they're trying to get their money out of the bank. There are lines every morning in every bank. Some people wait in the sun. People come from miles. They run out of cash, dollars every day. And some men cannot get back home, and maybe women too. So they just stay until there's cash. And you can only take $50 out at a time. Some say it's $100, some say it's $50. I don't know. I wasn't going to the bank for that reason. I was going to the bank because my friend was going. I was going to give him the money to transfer to the Mozambique embassy. Because what you can do with your bank accounts, you can wire each other money, but people need cash. Some businesses need cash. Some people need cash to take to another country. You can't wire your money out of the country. That's very important to remember. You can't wire money out of the country, or it's near impossible with the banks here. Okay, so with all of that in mind, so I was there were 2 lines going into the bank. I think mine took about 40 minutes to get into the bank, but the other line just stopped because they came out and said there's no more cash. We can't give you cash anymore. And again, you can only get $50 or $100 out a day from your own account if you need cash. So people are paying, if you have cash and you have a bank account, let's say you have $100 cash, someone will wire you $110. Someone will wire you $110 into your bank account if you give them $100 cash, because they need cash. Cash is that valuable. So people were calm in the line. They let about 5 people into the bank at one time. Then the door automatically locks behind you. I mean, it's tight security. Again, people are calm. I give the people credit here in this country. And the point in telling you all of this is that Bitcoin would solve this issue. If people accepted Bitcoin here, people understood Bitcoin here, it can serve as cash. You can get it out whenever you want to because you're in control of it. So that's what they need. Right now, they have money in a bank they cannot get out. So they are not in control of their money. And thus they don't have cash. With Bitcoin, it is cash, it is electronic cash. You can send it to anyone, anywhere, and then they can use it immediately to compensate someone else. All right? And they can use it in different countries. You can send it out of the country. That's huge. That's huge. So, when you go to the supermarket, there are some people that are obviously able to use their bank accounts to pay for food, which is great. But again, if they had to go to South Africa, they would need cash. This country, there are not many jobs. People say it's 90% unemployment. You walk around and you see just people selling anything they can sell on the street. Again, people are very calm. People are very nice. But many people have gone to South Africa and other countries just to get work so they can make money. So this country, there's a lot of turbulence. So people need to get out of the country. Sometimes if they had Bitcoin, they wouldn't need to leave the country as much. If they did leave the country, they could just use the Bitcoin in other countries, bring Bitcoin back in the country. If Bitcoin was used more cash would not be leaving the country, in other words. And thus there would be, they'd be able to pay people here. There would be more jobs, in theory. Again, there are other problems with regulation and all that stuff. We're not going to get into that. But I just wanted to give this real world experience. And I am here to talk about Bitcoin at the Bitcoin conference. So hopefully we can come up with some ideas. And I think one of the biggest things here, it's just spreading the word that this exists, that Bitcoin exists, because people will come up with their own ideas, their own unique solutions that will use Bitcoin. Because we see all sorts of unique solutions in the current paradigm. Just what I was telling you, using $10 to buy $100 worth of cash, that is a solution in this paradigm. It's an unfortunate solution, but it is a solution. Bitcoin is a better solution than that. So, one of my big things is marketing. I am a marketing guy. So at the Bitcoin conference, hopefully I'm talking about marketing. They're going to assign me whatever I'm supposed to talk about, but I'm going to get into marketing and stuff. And I thank my friend here for helping me send the Mozambique embassy the wire. So I would be in Mozambique. I think I'm going to encounter some very similar issues. They can't wire money out of their country, and then they have similar issues to Zimbabwe. Anyway, I'm excited. I see it as an opportunity. I think the people who are living through it they're not very excited. You can see how standing in those bank lines for hours upon hours breaks a person. It really can break a person. The people, their faces just don't have very much emotion on it at all. I'm Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister. I hope you enjoy this outside video in Harare, Zimbabwe.